Hello, Mike. All right, we are live. What is up, guys? This is Killer Neck Accurate with a Minnesota review. So, this grind, after I get this thing open, just give me a sec here while I set everything up. This grind was literally the most painful grind I've ever been through. The Kansas is very good. The problems that I've had, now let me just send this link to people so they can watch this as well. So the ground was painful. The main problem that you're going to run into with Kansas is not its reload time. You can make 80%. I've done 80 damage. I've done 76 damage with her, 76 battle damage with her. The main problem that you're going to run into is not your ship. Your ship is fine. The real time, you don't even notice it if you play it like I showed you guys in the unlocking video. What you're going to notice, though, is people will push you out of the way. People will take advantage of you that you are slow. So basically what that means, as I post the link into is this video live? I think it's live, isn't it? There it is. Okay. So the main problem that you guys are going to run into is not your ship. It's the fact. Okay, hang on. It's the fact that every single ship that is faster than you will pick on you, and they will take advantage of your speed. They will not, repeat, not help you out. Push you out of the way. They will cut in front of you. They will, at the beginning of the game, they will just take advantage of your speed. So if you're right next to them, they're going to take advantage of that speed, cut in front of you, and steal kills. How you do that generally is, like I said, stay near a hang on, how you mitigate that is you're going to generally stay near like, so if you're at C point and the rest of the team, you have a boat that you just killed in front of you and you want to get to B, stay to this, because destroyers, battleships, any Iowa, North Carolina, Montana, regardless of if it's, I bet they were doing random too, they will push you. And what I do, because I take no, I take no kills. I take no stealing kills seriously in my games. I will literally push them out of the way, because if you're not going to help from if you're not going to help me and just steal my kills every game, then I'm going to make your day miserable. That's how to play Kansas. You want to be aggressive. You want to be the only ship. Kansas can handle it. She's a big girl, but she's a big ship, but she will she will benefit from that playstyle in every aspect. So how to not, and the grind is terrible if you know how to play her. Now I just realized how to do it like 50 from 40 or 50 ship XP until I get the Minnesota. And I could see I didn't get the Minnesota yet. But the general fact that you have to play her that way is generally going to make people mad. Or, generally, why did you bump into me? Why did you shoot me? Why did you do whatever? You generally want to be aggressive. Because if your team, now, if you're playing with a guy and the guy generally cuts in front of you, that's okay. Like if you're in a division with somebody and the guy wants to cut in front of you, okay, kill. Or if you're in division and for some reason, whatever, and the guy cuts in front of you, that's okay. Let him. But if you're playing alone, if you're playing co-op, and I highly suggest this because in every game, I'm not talking about like games where you have one person that is torpedoing you or whatever. In almost every game, a good majority of games, you're gonna have people that don't care. You're gonna have people that will leave you because you're slow. Make them wrong. Be aggressive with the Kansas. Just give me 1 sec, guys. I just gotta make sure this post is on here. Good. So, and then what you're gonna benefit from is, oh geez, did I post in here? Let me just post in here. Hang on a second, guys. I'm just sharing a post. Oh, sorry, shit. Oh. So what you guys are going to benefit from is the fact that once you're in the game and once they know, oh, look, it's killer neck accurate or whatever, they will support you because they know that you're not going to take any crap from them. And they will no longer bother you. They should no longer bother you. Now, co-op is random and whatever, but you should have a point where if a good majority of people do this, then you're not going to have a problem. So that's how you play Kansas. Be aggressive. North Carolina, you can Citadel. Iowa, sometimes. I think I Citadel to Yamato once. I have a video. If you go back to the first time I played Kansas, in that video, you'll see a Citadel hit on a Yamato. If you guys want to check that out as well. But play her aggressively. Do not take any crap from people because they will push you. Generally, what's going to happen is they are improving Kansas. They're improving, I forget how much, but they're improving the shell velocity and the dispersion of the shells. How the shells, I think they're making them more tighter or a little tighter, so more shells hit the target on the Kansas as well as the Minnesota. But just make sure you are aggressive with this thing because that's what I've had the most problems with, and I will fix that in a sec. I'm going to put that full screen so you guys can see that. Let me put the full screen for you guys. Because if you are aggressive, you're going to benefit from Kansas's play style the most. And if you're not aggressive, so if you listen to, now this is what has worked for me. It might not work for you. It might not work for any of the dev blogs or any of the, whatever. this works for me. And this is not like a surefire way to play Kansas. Like, this is not 100% definite way that Kansas works. This is three. I showed you, I think, 3 ways to play Kansas. This is a 4th way to play Kansas. It works very well in co-op. And I'm not saying this way is going to work for everybody. It's probably not, but it works for me, and a majority of games it has worked. So that's how you play. That's how you would play Kansas. Like a bulldozer, you're gonna push everything out of the way, but not push too far to where you're not not in the area of any ships. So push as far enough as you feel comfortable, and push everything out of the way. Do not mind that everybody's gonna get mad at you, because smaller ships. I mean, don't push Minnesota out of the way, or Kansas out of the way, or a slower ship out of the way. Of course not, because they have the same play style as you, and you're just trying to get a kill, and they're trying to get a kill. Don't do that. But what I mean is push faster ships out of the way, not in random, because random, of course, you're against real players. But in co-op, quicker game, just push them out of the way, no matter what. You're gonna get probably hits or whatever, but just push everything out of the way, because that's the only way you are going to get the best battle damage during games. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be a regular battleship, and you're going to, let me just purchase this thing. Purchase that. Include the extra thing there, because we're going to need that. Or you know what? Yeah, let's use that. I always use this because 500, it helps, and I have the amount that I need. So okay, so what I was saying, push everything out of the way of Kansas. Same thing with Minnesota. Same ship, same everything. You're gonna push the everything out of the way, because they take advantage of you. And this is the only tier that I've seen this as. They will cut in front of you. They will take advantage of you as much as they can, guys. So generally, that's what you want to do with Kansas. That's what you want to do with Minnesota. But in terms of playstyle and modules, I'm going to show you that right now, as well as the armor layout. Sorry I talk so much about Kansas, but that's just my playstyle. And I don't blame people. Everybody wants the kills, I get that. But there is a point to where people in this game take advantage of slower moving ships and ruin slower moving ship gameplay for other players. So if you are one of those people that push through Kansas, or push in front of Kansas, steal Kansas's kills, don't be that person. Because if you were in that ship, you would be going through the same grind, these same issues that any other player would be. Think of grinding North Carolina. What's wrong with North Carolina? The sides. What's wrong with Minnesota? The long reload time and the slow engines. But if you do not know how to, hence dodge shells, you're not going to have fun in any of those ships, because all those ships, so from North Carolina to Iowa, from Massachusetts. I think Alabama is the same thing. I'm not sure. Same armor scheme, but from Massachusetts to North Carolina to Iowa. Not as much Iowa, but North Carolina, Iowa, Massachusetts mostly, and Alabama, I think, have weak sides. So generally, you have to know how to play them. Generally, I think, and I highly suggest this to any new players, go up the line with these ships first. These ships are going to be more forgiving. Yes, I know every single thing hates on these ships. Like every single thing you read is going to hate on these ships. These are good ships. They play like turrets. They do not have torpedoes like turrets. They do play like a turret style. They have their weak points. They have their strong points. And I would think I would put the Vermont probably from what I've seen against the Grosser Kerr first or or anything like that. Yeah, you can't move out of the way, but you have the gunpowder, so blow them up. Anyways, so let's get into the ship. And as I was saying, if you're a new player, I'm just giving advice as well to new players. So this is going to be a review on the Minnesota as well. Just giving advice to new players as well. If you're getting the Colorado and you want to have a better game, you want to have a stronger ship. You like the way the Colorado plays, but everybody's telling you go down North Carolina line, go down this line. It's highly worth it. You are going to find that these ships are much tougher than Colorado and much stronger. These things have a full salvo on the broadside of, which I'll show you if I get a good shot. These things have a full broadside, so they have an amazing firepower on the broadside of these ships. That's their benefit. So if you have like a Massachusetts, you could rip Massachusetts, I would say, if you get that full broadside on her. One sec. Excuse me. So if you get a full broadside on her, go for it. These ships are definitely going to benefit you in a good way. They are not terrible ships. If you're looking for a faster ship, though, go with the North Carolina, go with the Iowa, go with the Montana. If you like tanky ships, these are not dead ships. These are good ships. You will see, at times, unfair gameplay, where you have a Yamato and you're against the Yamato, or you can't keep up with other ships. But you have that full broadside. You have longer range. You have stuff like that to benefit you in many ways. Whereas the Massachusetts, if you do, which I hate on the Massachusetts, by the way, if you use the Spire plane, it is pretty much pointless if you are at sea point and you're aiming at a enemy aircraft carrier. But anyways, guys, let's get into the ship. So with Massachusetts, I'm sorry. So just make sure you decide at that point, whenever you get to Colorado, do you like the Colorado enough to go down the Vermont line, Minnesota line, and Kansas line battleships? I highly suggest it. Um, in cases, it might not be the best ship, but it's Kansas, Minnesota, probably. I can't say it, but Kansas, Minnesota, any of those ships are going to be forgiving. Massachusetts is not a forgiving ship. She is a strong ship, but she is not forgiving at all. You go broadside in her, you're against the Yamato. If that Yamato shoots at you when you're turning and your armor is rotated, so like if you're turning, your ship is leaning or listing to one side, you want to. So basically, hint: when you turn, your armor shifts. So all this juicy armor here is shifted, so it may expose other armor on this ship. So I'm not saying Massachusetts is the worst battleship in the game, um, but if you are looking for a more battle brawling type of battleship, go with the Minnesota, go with the Vermont, and the um, go with the Kansas. You're gonna see at times the Kansas is a killer. The Minnesota can be a killer. I haven't played her yet, but I know the playstyle of the Kansas, and this is just stronger. Um, so you're gonna see that with any of these ships. And I'm not saying no zoop for you is wrong. I'm not saying Notzer is wrong. I'm not saying any of those streamers or any of those dev blogs or the warships higher up people or gameplay people are wrong. They're just doing it from their playstyle. They're not thinking of the other playstyle that you can have. So basically, they're doing it from a better what's going to benefit you more. They're not doing it from. Now I might be wrong, but they're not generally, from what I've seen with these ships. Every person, no matter what, hates these ships. They're slow. They're not going to support. The guns are off. The dispersion is terrible. But whatever, the armor doesn't work. The armor should be stronger. Hence, guys, these ships never were a real ship. This ship never existed. The Kansas never existed. The Vermont never existed. They are just going by the blueprints of these ships. This is so what I've heard. I don't know how true this is, but from what I've heard, these ships are um, these ships are realistic in terms of. I mean, these ships are realistic in terms of certain time periods. So the Kansas, which is right here, was made at a certain time period. This is what a ship looked like, kind of, with the AA guns, or what it would probably look like, and what AA guns would be on the ship if these ships were, if we did choose these ships. Now, I'm not saying for actual battle, like for real life battle, these ships would be good. They would not. Slow speed, Yamaha would pretty much destroy this thing. HE, done. But not in game. You can tank with a Yamato in game. I do see why that people do hate these ships, but they are fun to play. They are not the type of ships that you're going to see that aren't fun to play. Now, I don't know if this ship is hard to play, terrible, but Wargaming does say on their, I'm going to read you their cons about the Minnesota. So let me give you the cons, and I don't think I gave you the cons, but if I didn't, let me go to the Kansas and give you the cons and pros, and then we'll go to the, and I'll show you the module build on this ship. This is more of a help build, as like help if you are new to these ships, as well as the module build and the playstyle of these ships for newer players as well as veteran players. So that's why I'm taking so long and adding as much information into this as I can. So if you go to the Kansas wiki, so you can type in Kansas wiki on the internet. Go to it should be under the, you might have to type in World of Warships. So if you type in Kansas Wiki World of Warships, it comes up, click on it. So with the Kansas, your let me go down a little bit. Your performance is the pros of the Kansas. Heavy broadside of 12 406 millimeter guns, excellent main battery range, tight turn radius for a battleship. The Citadel is located below the waterline and is hard to hit. Good torpedo damage reduction. Torpedo bulges cover most of the ship's side. So if you guys don't know what a torpedo bulge is, and this is a torpedo bulge right here. This little thing sticking out, this is a torpedo bulge. So abuse this thing. It's not going to stop every torpedo. It's just going to stop some torpedoes. And if you have a destroyer, this can normally, depending on the destroyer, if it's a tier 10, double I've seen. So if you double torpedo, this ship is dead. But if you use single torpedo, like if somebody just drops one set of torpedoes, it can survive, but barely. With full health, full modules, full everything, it can survive. I do suggest a secondary build for this. Just keep those destroyers away. But again, this is on Minnesota, so secondary build for the Kansas. So the Citadel is located above the waterline, or below the waterline, and is hard to hit. So yeah, it's below the waterline. If you look at I'm not going to show you the Citadel, but if you guys look at the Citadel on the ship, it is below the waterline, which means that you can't get Citadel. It's very hard to get Citadel with shells from enemy ships. Although I have gotten Citadel occasionally with plunging fire, I believe, but I'm not too sure about that. I just know I've gotten a lot of damage from bigger battleships that plunging fire that have shot shells at me plunging though. So this ship is susceptible to plunging fire as well. So just be aware of that. With bigger battleships, you will get Citadel from plunging fire on the Kansas. So now if you go to the torpedo bulge, just cover most of the ship. So this is the torpedo bulge before you move on. Starting here all the way back here to right here. That is your torpedo bulge. That is where you're going to aim most of your enemy torpedoes. You're not going to put them here. You're going to put them on either side of your ship. Those are your torpedo bulges. So now those are the pros. And it has a good AA suite as well as defensive AA fire. And cons for this battleship: the slowest tier 8 battleship. Kansas is the slowest tier 8 battleship with a base speed of 23 knots. Very very slow reload speed of 40 seconds. If you use the way that I showed you guys, if you use like the go straight, shoot, turn, shoot, go straight, shoot, turn, shoot. So you're gonna go straight and then angle, shoot your back guns, shoot your front guns. If you cycle your back guns and your front guns, your reload time will be roughly around 20 seconds per front or back guns. So if you shoot your front guns and you turn and shoot your back guns, your front guns will reload in 20 seconds. And that is that is going to be your most competitive move from what I've seen with Kansas. If you go to the low Sigma, that's what they're upgrading. They're upgrading the Sigma, I think, and mediocre AP penetration at range. So you don't have the best penetration at range with your AP shells with the Kansas. Extensively covered in 32 millimeter armor and stuff like that. So extensively covered in 32 millimeter armor plating, vulnerable to HE spam and large caliber AP overmatch. So basically, it's not from what I just realized, it's not hitting your citadel. You're just the ship is vulnerable to like ships like Yamato, Musashi, any big battleship, any tier 10 big battleship or big AP shell battleship can overmatch your armor and cause extensive damage. So now we're going to go to the cons over matchmaking, her rather squishy. So big ships, squishy armor, not as big armor protection. So you have armor against smaller ships like cruisers and those smaller battleships like Bayern, but the bigger battleships, Yamato, Musashi, Montana, Vermont, probably even any of those bigger battleships are going to take advantage of your armor because it is squishy. And what I mean by squishy is easily overmatched by any bigger battleship, which means you're going to take a lot of damage if they do hit you with their shells. So most of Kansas armor. And the armor on Kansas is. So if you look at the AA defense, your AA defense, everything is open, as you see here, as well as here, here, here. So, which means any rockets, anything that is dropped, HE bombs is going to destroy these things easier than an Iowa's or a Bayarns because it's not protected. It doesn't have any protection on the gun. So let's go on to any defense mounts can be destroyed. So yeah, the mount could be destroyed with HE bombs or HE, with HE bombs. So open mounts can be easily destroyed with HE. So I think highly explosive shells or I'm guessing bombs, but maybe highly explosive shells as well can destroy the AA mounts on your ship. And despite your underwater citadel, Kansas can take massive amounts of normal penetration, which is just ships shooting at you. Penetration damage when showing a full broadside. So if a ship shoots at you, it takes massive penetration if you're massive penetration damage if you're fully broadside, and I think that is a con because you have that's going to be your con for this ship line because you have that broadside, you have that heavy broadside availability with this ship. So now that we got that done, we get to the fun part of building the module build for our Minnesota and playing the Minnesota as well. So here we go. Sorry about the long info on Kansas. I know I already did that in the video before. Just in case anybody knows or has not seen the video before, I just wanted to go through Kansas's build real quick, or pros and cons, so you know how to use the Minnesota. So if you go to the Minnesota here, you're gonna look at the armor. So you're gonna look at this Minnesota. So I think right here the torpedo bulges up until here. No, it's built in. I'm sorry. I think it's built into the hull, whereas Kansas is sticking out. So if you look at the armor layout, so I'm going to go over the pros and cons first of the Minnesota, and then I will show you the armor. So with the Minnesota, your armor is going to be, hang on a second. Let me just get to the Minnesota. And I'm just doing it this way, give you guys what advice Wargaming says with these ships and what the pros and cons are, instead of I'm going to add what Wargaming thinks are some pros and cons and what I think are some pros and cons. That's what I'm going to do for you guys, so you guys have the best chance, the best advantage of playing the ship. USS Minnesota. No, we don't want that. We want the Minnesota. Yes. So with the USS Minnesota, let's see, Minnesota. Oh, found it. Or the warships. So with this ship, some pros on this ship are, and this is the global wiki, you guys can look at any information I give you as well. So this is the information from the global wiki site. You guys can look up this information as well if you are interested to look at more deeply or more research this ship more in depth from what Wargaming says. I'm not going to read it all because that's going to be generally a really long stream. So I'm just going to give you the pros and cons because all the other information is pretty much, you don't need that. And the information is already right here anyways. And I'm going to go over it all for you guys. This is just like module setups and stuff. So anyways, the pros on the Minnesota, you got a heavy broadside of 12 guns with a grand heavy broadside with a grand total of 12 guns to, I believe, 14 guns on Kansas. I think it's the same amount, actually. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, it is the same amount because they go 3. Yeah. So 12 guns, and the 38 millimeter plating covers most of her hull, allowing her to resist HE and bounce 400. So that's an advantage. 38 millimeter plating covers most of the hull, allowing her to resist HE, how explosive shells, and bounce 406. I'm sorry, not 406. 460 millimeter or smaller AP shells. She has good torpedo protection with a 40% damage reduction. The Minnesota also has access to the defensive AA fire system, it has access to defensive AA fire, something most battleships don't have. So Kansas, I believe Vermont has defensive AA as well. It's just basically enhanced AA. So fighters from carriers have a harder time dropping bombs in your ship or dropping ordnance on your ship. This is the slowest tier 9 battleship in the game with a top speed of 23 knots, and she has sluggish maneuverability. So, where Kansas has fast maneuverability, Minnesota has slow maneuverability. Or sluggish maneuverability. I'm sorry, not slow, sluggish maneuverability. Okay, now we're on to the what I think. Despite having 38 millimeter covering, I don't know if this is showing now. Despite having 33, I'm sorry, not 33. Despite having 38 millimeter covering, a lot of the hull and deck, she's still very squishy. Her armor scheme doesn't seem to work half the time. I do not get that. I would say her armor scheme pretty much works, but they're probably meaning that if you get shot, she still has 30. This is what this probably means, and I'm not fully sure, but this is what I'm getting out of it. She has 38 millimeters of armor on most parts of her. On a lot of the hull. So on a lot of the hull, you're going to see 38 millimeters of armor. So here, or wait, why isn't it showing up? Sorry, the game froze for a sec. So 38 millimeters. I see 38 all over the deck, in the side of the ships. You're going to see 38 millimeter armor. Wargaming says that her armor scheme doesn't seem to work half of the time, and is very squishy. Her armor scheme, her armor scheme is very squishy, and doesn't seem to work half of the time. So basically, what they mean by that is you have more of a vulnerability with these, with being in a higher tier at tier 9, to have like Musashi in a game, to have Yamato in a game, to have those bigger end battleships in a game with you. So that's why they're saying probably it doesn't work most of the time, because you're against better ships than you. But you also have Kansas, Colorado, and I believe some premium ships like this, slow-moving battleships that you will be able to shoot at as well. There's just more of a chance that you're going to run into a bigger battleship with bigger guns, and that's why your armor doesn't work, because it's the same. It's that same armor scheme pretty much you have on the Kansas. So any big guns, Musashi, Yamato, Gross first, they're going to bully you. But you can stand your own as well if you know how to play slow moving battleships and you know the armor scheme and you know the all or nothing armor scheme. You should be able to go against that and hold your own. I think that's very minimal. I just think they mean that there's more of a chance that you're going to find Yamato or any of those bigger battleships in game, and it's going to be challenging and for you with the chance that there's the bigger battleship in the game with bigger guns that can pin you very well. So anyways, let's move on. Armor piercing shells do less damage than Iowa. Again, this is a ship that you're talking about that has a good broadside. So they had to find cons and lower these ships so it's equal to other battleships. So of course it's not gonna have the armor piercing shells as Iowa because they don't want to over compete against Iowa because of the armor. So because you have the armor, they have less AP. They tend to do this with all the ships you'll see in World of Warships, but mostly with ships like this because of the armor scheme. They tend to aid them a little bit more and adjust them a little bit more because they are a more of a tanky type of battleship. So now you're going to go down to the I missed one here. Armor piercing shells now. So smaller HP pool than Iowa. It has a smaller HP pool than Iowa, and I wouldn't really worry about that as much. These ships are tanky. As long as you stay away from bigger battleships, you should be fine. But I wouldn't judge this against Iowa as well because Iowa's a faster battleship, but Iowa does have more HP in terms of that hit points. She does have the 40-second reload time as well as the repair party. Okay, so now we're going to get to the fun part and module build her, just in case you guys don't want to stay for the review of this, if you already know. So my module build for, let's see what my module build for my Minnesota is going to be. So the Minnesota, you're going to want, let's see. You could do this, but this gives you more of a more benefits. So you could do this. It's gonna pin, I believe, higher end ships better. It's gonna make that longer shots more of an advantage for you. Or, yeah, it's going to give you more of an advantage with those longer shots. That's what this one's going to do. So that's what this module is going to do if you decide to use this one. It's just going to give you more of a punching power at longer ranges, which I would not suggest using because that's the only thing that it does. So auxiliary armaments is gonna. You do not want to use this unless you. You do not want to use this as well because the AA is not going to make sense and your secondaries are pretty much not really the best, but you do want to use this if you want to uh, be brawly with destroyers. So use that if you want to be brawly with destroyers. I would highly use this as well because if your guns go out, it's hard to move. So I'm going to use that. It's a lot hard to adjust, being that the ship is so slow. So now I'm going to go to the second one, and you see damage control system and engine room protection. With the Minnesota, it's really up to you. I'm not gonna say either or. With this one, it's more, as you can see, it's more uh, of advantages, or it's more better to have the main armaments than the auxiliary, because then you have one as well for this, because the AA mounts are pretty much open, so they're just gonna go out on you. You're not gonna have that. Yeah, you have that extra hit point, but they're just gonna go out on you anyway. So why even use that? As well as the secondary build, which is okay. But if you want to take out destroyers, definitely use that, because that will help take out destroyers with that reload time that you have. With that long reload time, it will help you with destroyers. The second thing here, auxiliary armaments 1, modification 1, is going to help you take out destroyers easier and faster. So that's why I chose main armaments, because generally, if those bigger battleships do hit you and your guns go out, you have more hit points, or risk of your risk of your gun going out is less. Whereas if you were to use this, it'll be more regular, how regular it is. But I definitely use this because your guns do go out a lot, and if you have your front guns, you only have 2 front guns, and both of them go out. You only have your back guns, so you can only go backward, turn around, and for you to turn around in this slow ship, you're gonna eat penetrations, or you're gonna eat a lot of damage. So you don't want to do that. Pretty much, I would honestly suggest to stick with main armaments modification 1. It's just more of an advantage you're gonna have than having auxiliary armaments, unless you want to be less prone to destroyer attacks. Then go with this. This is not more prone as well. It's just better to have this module for this section than any of these, because of the lower benefits. Because of the lower benefits with these, that's why I'm going with main armaments, because it's more, you want the ship to be the best it can be. You don't want it to be where it's secondary build or anything like that. You can secondary build it if you wanted to really wreck destroyers, or try to wreck them. But I would definitely go for main armaments, just because if those 2 guns go out in the front, or if one does, you only have 1 gun that loads 40 seconds. So that's going to be an interesting battle for you, being that you have 1 gun in front. And if you do have 2 guns out, then you're going to have to stay broadside, and your broadside eats penetration damage. So I would suggest this would be the best one from Module 1. But choice for Module 1 is main armaments 1, modification 1. Now with this, you can either do 2 things. It's up to you. If you want to use this ship as battle brawler, go with damage control system. If you want to use this ship as destroyer killer, or destroyer protection, go with engine room protection. I'm going to do that because I realized that these ships are slow, destroyers can catch up to them easier. So this is just going to protect your engine from any damage, any airline damage. And you can read the benefits: risk of engine becoming incapacitated, engine repair time, risk of steering gears. So it's just better to have that, being that most people are playing destroyers, or a lot of times they're destroyers in matches, and again, your broadside, it's just more protection of your broadside to have this rather than having damage control. You are going to be prone to it more, but it's better to move than sit with these ships. So what I mean by sit is, don't, like, if you lose your engine in the middle of like C point or B point, you're in trouble. So you want to have that advantage with that engine protection instead of having the fire, because the fire you can put out every time it reloads, every time the repair party reloads on the ship. You will have that. You could use a repair party. That's why I opted for this, because if you have a destroyer that reloads, I think every 1 minute or every 50 seconds or something like that, you're going to be punished with that destroyer, and you just want the more advantage of having the engine, having your engine not go out and having the ability to move rather than just sit there and become bait for destroyers if your engine does go out. With this, it's either or. I would generally probably, you could do this now, you could do this later, but next, in a couple more updates, they are going to upgrade Kansas and upgrade. So they're going to upgrade Kansas and they're going to upgrade Minnesota, and they're going to make the Sigma better, I believe, for those ships. So you're going to want to use. So it's pretty much the same with you. If you want to use it, be protected from destroyers more, then you use your secondary battery modification 1. If you want to be a battle brawler, which these certain ships aren't as good at, but you can battle brawl with them if you know how to. Or if you're good at playing this ship, you can battle brawl with it. Like if you know how to battle brawl and you know the angles and everything like that, then you should be fine with battle brawling. And I would definitely get that if you're thinking battle brawling. If you're having trouble with destroyers, get secondaries. If you're having trouble with planes, that's always good to have the AA, although it's not needed because of your AA defense here. This is definitely better too, because plus 16%, so your main battery firing range is plus 16, so you get additional 16 percent on your range, and secondary range goes up as well by 5%, and your maximum dispersion of secondary, so Sigma, is going to be better. And if you want to make your dispersion better, you can do that as well. For me, I'm probably going to go for artillery pawing room 1, modification 1, and that's just because I see really no benefit. I do see benefit, but I don't, again, because of the reload time. So you're just switching the armor on the guns, and you're just moving basically less of a target. But again, if you want to battle brawl, use this. If you want to kill destroyers easier or have an advantage at killing destroyers, use this. If you want to shoot down more planes, use this. Or if you want more better range and stuff like that, use artillery applying the modification one for that. All right, so now we're on to. So basically, what I mean is these ships are not like Massachusetts; they're not secondary built ships, but you always want your secondaries to be somewhat good, so the destroyers do not take advantage of your broadsides. It's just another add-on that can defend you from those attacks, from those destroyer attacks. So now you see we go to the third one. Now here's where it gets interesting. Do you want faster propulsion? Do you want damage control party? Or do you want steering gears? I'm going to go with steering gears to give myself the advantage to run away or to get my broadside guns out faster. So that's what I'm going to do. Propulsion is time taken to get to full throttle. You could use this if you want to. I wouldn't probably suggest it because that's the only thing it does is it increases the time between idle throttle and full throttle. I mean, decreases the time between low and high throttle. It decreases the time it takes to get to high throttle and the time it takes to go down to low throttle. It decreases that time by 50%. So that's why I went with this, because if I need to get back, I would rather have faster turning than propulsion or damage control part. Now I may be wrong, I may switch it later, but that's just what I think. With this, you do want to use torpedo loading lookout system to put most of those destroyers actually concealment or So this is actually an interesting point because you could go three ways here. If you're planning to use the ship in random battle, go with concealment system. If you are wanting to see destroyers farther and you feel like ships are dropping torpedoes too close to your ship and your ship is not, and you can't stop the destroyers, go with this. Go with torpedo lookout system. It's gonna give you 1.8 kilometers range of a short acquisition of torpedoes. 1.8. So after the torpedoes pass 1.8 kilometers away from your ship, you should see the torpedoes. I'm actually gonna go with the action time just to give myself an advantage. This basically adds action time. So if you use a repair party, it adds more time to it. So you have that advantage with the increased. So you have that advantage at not catching on fire longer time for you not catch on fire and for damage to be done to your ship. So now we go to the last part here, and I'm not probably going to get this, but I'm going to look at it and show you guys. I don't have enough money for it right now. Actually, I could sell the Kansas, but I don't want to sell the Kansas. Actually, you know what? Maybe I could sell flags because this is 3,000, right? Let me sell some flags. Hang on a second, guys. Because I just have enough money, as you can see, or almost enough. So let's go. So I know these are good, but I just want the most because I don't really want to sell Kansas. So I want to have the most money I can get out of this. Alright. So as we sell flags, we are going up one by one. And try to... So I would just rather do this because Kansas is a pretty good ship and I already have her all of her modules and stuff. So I just rather sell flags and get the last upgrade that way, rather than selling Kansas to get the creds. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna get to the gameplay pretty soon, guys. Selling some flags, so I can get that last update on that last module on my ship. Oh wow, it's not gonna do anything, is it? So I'm gonna play the Minnesota as well, and then I'm gonna show you guys which one I'm going to add to her. Alright, so let's see how that Minnesota plays. Let's bring in the bow. Minnesota. A lot of tanky battleships. Let me see if there's any comments. Yeah, I just wanted to do that just so I could show you guys the last module of what I would get and what it does to the ship. So, or what advantage it has on for the ship. Big ship.
Action stations.
This video of Minnesota. Wow, good comments if there is any. Okay, there is not. Just want to check just in case.
Thank you for the energy, Father.
So this is going to be a so we're gonna do the normal battle brawler kind of play style first, like I usually do with these heavy battleships to show you guys the armor scheme. Then we're gonna do it from a short bombardment kind of view. So I can get for you guys.
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
And then after this, we'll you guys can look into the
Acknowledged.
AA and artillery and stuff. I normally do that, but it's the same gun caliber. It's probably the same AA shells and stuff. So I know it's the same gun caliber, so it doesn't.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Oh, accurate. Oh, a second. AP. Yeah, so I might go through it, but I think the guns are pretty much the same as Kansas's guns, same caliber, same millimeter, and I'm pretty sure it's same. Yeah. Oh no, they had different. Okay, Minnesota does have different guns. I'm sorry. So same guns for the Kansas. So we're not gonna go over the guns. We're just gonna go over the AA guns and what you get with that because that is different in the Kansas. See the dispersion here. And her shells are definitely floaty. Perfect. So that last torpedo hit outside the torpedo bulge, whereas the other torpedo hit in the torpedo bulge. So that's why one caused a flood and one did not, or two caused a flood and one did not. I think I only saw like two hit. Okay, how did that miss? Either that was very accurate or the ship is backing out.
The ship is on fire. Our team is taking the lead.
There we go.
Enemy cruiser sunk. Our victory is in sight.
That was my fault. I was not trying to make him trap him against like that. I was trying to go towards my toe if I wasn't going to cut in front of me. That's what people will do because you're slow. They will cut in front of you like that. But that was my fault. Whoa. What happened to all my... It's probably a lot of penetration damage. And I'm not hitting D. Sorry about that, guys. I was hitting D. So let's use the... Oh, we got a fighter on here now. Crap. So I'll go over everything else in a part 2, guys. I'm actually really tired right now, so I'll go over everything else in like a part 2 video as well. So there is going to be a part 2 in this once I get used to the ship, and I'll add in everything else. Or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, so they'll do that. And you generally don't want to complete. What is this? Complete. Okay, complete that. Complete that. And complete this. Okay. So those are from all three missions I have access to because I have this ship. So now the fun part, looking at our armor. We're gonna look at our armor real quick, and then I'll go over the differences in the AA guns. So she's got 32 forend plating, 32 millimeters all over. Besides here, she's got 273 millimeter armor thickness for end armor belt. That's your armor belt right there. That's your torpedo side plating. Your superstructure is 19 millimeters, and your armor thickness is 305. In the front, no, I'm sorry, your armor thickness on the sides. Where did I get 305 from? Oh, I'm sorry. Your armor thickness on your guns, your front armor plate is 457 millimeters. Your top plate is 203, and your side plate is 254 throughout all the guns. Superstructure is big, so it's prone to HE fire or HE shells. And your plating for this, your superstructure is 19 millimeters. And now we go down to the. I'm going to end the AA as well for you guys. I'm just not going to show you guys because there's nothing really new. So there is going to be a part 2 thoughts as well with the ship, just like it did with the Kansas. So there is going to be that same video once I have the Vermont. So I could show you guys both different ships and give you guys info on those ships and stuff like that. So you have, let's go outer and, oops, that. Okay, so that's your deck plating. So you have 3 all over, like I said. And now we go below this. So you go below the deck. Take the sides off. You have a armor belt here. So we just took the torpedo bulges off. I think those are the torpedo bulges. Yeah, that's your. So what I just took off is your torpedo protection on the ship. So your Citadel torpedo bulkhead armor thickness is 86 on both sides. Your armor belts is 343 millimeters. Your plating is 38, and your plating up here is 36. No, yeah, your plating down here is 38, as well as your plating up here. What I do like about this ship, and I'll say in a minute after I'm done going through the plating and everything on her, which I think I have, besides Citadel. So I just took off that. Now we're going to take off the superstructure, the gun setup. Sorry, wait. So that's 38 millimeters as well. This is 32 in the front without the top. An extra, I think it goes with an extra. You have that. I can take this off. You have that thing in the front. Yeah, so it's just an extra armor belt on the sides. I think it adds to it. Hang on. No, it doesn't. Oh, yeah. Okay, no, it doesn't. I think it does, but okay, no, it doesn't. That's just the armor. Okay, no, yeah, it doesn't. Sorry. So this is your torpedo bulkhead. If you do take this off, oh, there's more armor like that. No, that's your torpedo. Hang on. So if you do take this off, the hang on. I'm trying to figure out what I hit that is giving me the extra. What is this? Maybe not. You might have extra armor up here. You might not. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's not extra armor. It's just the torpedo bulge on the deck. That's what it is. So, anyways, deck armor. Let's take that off. So, deck armor is 38 millimeters. Okay, so your deck is 38 millimeters. Your side here is 343 millimeters. Your plating here is 38 millimeters. And let's take off this. No, I need that. I think I need this. Yeah, so that's your plating, and you guys can go through this. So I'm just showing you guys. So that's your afterward ship is 25 millimeters. Down here is 343 millimeters. I believe same on the back. 25, 343. And back of the Citadel that's your Citadel, which we'll get to that in a sec. Let me just take this off. No, maybe not. Take this off. No. Take this off. So now I have your Citadel, now your deck. We gotta take the deck armor off. Sorry about that, guys. So now I have your Citadel and the extra armor on the top there, which we can also take off as well, unless that's part of the Citadel. No, it's part of a deck. So here's another deck, which is 140 millimeters, and your side is 343 millimeters as well on this deck. So now your Citadel is a underwater Citadel, and you have 32 millimeters on top, 86 millimeters on the side, 38 millimeters in front, and 86 millimeters on the side. On the opposite side, and the Citadel deck is 32 millimeters. Okay, so let's take that off. And that is the armor scheme. And here's the AA defense. I'm not going to go through all this. It's pretty much, for most part, the same armor layout or the same AA guns. There's just a little bit of difference with the Kansas. You guys can look at that. All right. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And I'll be back tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but in a couple weeks with the second battle video. Probably after Christmas, or I know I'm going to stream on Christmas, but it's going to be with Microsoft Flight Simulator X, and it's Microsoft Flight Simulator X. So I'm also gonna stream a new game as well. I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna do it and if it's going to work. But I am gonna stream a new game as well. It's virtual deep sea fishing. It's a really old game for I think older computers, but it's still so much fun. And I played it; it's still so much fun, but it's bad graphics, but it's a fun game to play. I'll be streaming that as well in the near future. I don't know when that yet, but I will definitely be streaming virtual deep sea fishing as well. I also have Zoo Tycoon, but I have limited room on my computer, so I'm only gonna do certain games right now. But I will get to most of those games as well in the future. I also play Roblox, so I'm just gonna add those slowly and not all at once, so I don't have like 1,000 or a bunch of videos to make for a bunch of different things. So I'd rather just do certain things at once. Right now, World of Warships is updating a bunch of stuff, so I'm doing World of Warships, and I'm gonna be getting some cool things, I think, for my flight simulator as well, which I'll make a video for and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that, guys. And I should have the new game by sometime next week or probably next year, the beginning of next year. So, like that week or the week after, I should be playing virtual deep sea fishing on here. If you guys want to see Zoo Tycoon as well, I'll be playing that as well. I don't really play it as often, but I could definitely do that. I have made some pretty cool zoos in the past, so it's gonna be pretty cool to show you guys. So that's what's gonna happen in the future on my channel. And thanks for watching. And the next video should be either a update video on this. You guys can also look at the A while I'm talking, and I'm gonna move down to concealment as well, so you can get to see the concealment. So that's gonna be what I have planned for the future for my channel in terms of games. In terms of aviation stuff, I have very limited videos right now. I'm not going out due to quarantine and stuff like that to shoot aviation videos. I do plan to do that once it gets much warmer out, though. In certain areas, I do plan to show you guys some film once it gets more warmer out. Here I may do some more you may see some videos, more aviation videos. I just don't have access to aviation videos right now due to quarantine and due to the fact that it's freezing out. So yeah, so here's the survivability, artillery, and all that you guys need to see. So that's generally my plan for the future for this channel, playing many different games. And in terms of the aviation stuff, I'll post more. I know they're doing the air show this year, so I'll post more around that time. Definitely with air show videos that I have, and I will be posting probably a new game next year. That's going to be virtual deep sea fishing, and then sometime in the future, I will play Zoo Tycoon as well on here on my channel. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a nice night. And I hope I helped you learn how to play or helped you with how to play these ships in World of Warships. The next update video, like I said, for this ship as well as the I know I only played one game, but that's just because I'm like really tired, or not tired. I'm just I can't. I'm really tired and I don't really want to play, or I want to show you guys the best play style I can with these ships because they are slow and you have to angle the armor and stuff like that. So I just rather do that when I'm more awake and not tired. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the future new game videos or older game but new to my channel videos. And thanks for watching. And I hope you guys learned how to play these ships from my review. And please like and subscribe. Thank you, guys.